What's driving you? What are you doing with your body and your mind? Take a moment and just imagine. Imagine that you've got a big, fat, juicy lemon and you cut it in half, then you cut it in quarters and you take a big wedge of it and you suck on it. Can you see the saliva coming in? Can you just almost feel that lemon? Oh, the sourness, the taste of it, the bitterness. It almost makes your eyes water. But it's a fat, juicy lemon and you're sucking on it and it's become almost real to you. That's the power of the imagination. Isn't it exciting the way that it goes? The imagination helps us to picture things and imagine things and dream big things. It also helps us as we learn to develop our minds. As a young child, we go from 0 to 7, picking up like a sponge all the things that are happening in our minds, all the things that we see and learn around about us, all the good things that people say to us that build us up, and all the negative things that make us shrivel and feel small. This is all part of learning and stored in our minds so we know who we are, or we think we do. This photograph here is of all my boys. I've got 3 boys and I love them to bits, and now they've got a girlfriend each, so now I've got an extended family of 6 and a dog. I love them all to bits. But we haven't always had it fun or easy. My ex-husband had post-traumatic stress disorder. He was a Vietnamese refugee and he had a really tough time. And I do feel sorry for him, but he did make life hard for us. So we know what it's like to run down the back end of the corridor and hide in the back room when there's a towering rage exploding in the living room up the other end of the corridor. We know what it's like to walk on eggshells, being scared to open your mouth in case you say the wrong thing, not even knowing what you're saying that's triggering off the next explosion, the next bout of anger, the next rage. It's very difficult sometimes. And then personally, I know what it's like to be stonewalled, to be totally ignored and walk past in my own house as though I don't exist, as though I'm not even there. I ask a question and get no response whatsoever. The longest period I went for that sort of experience was 4 months. No, terrible. You feel like you've become a non-person, totally ignored. But now, my children and I have discovered that there's so much more to life. Before, my husband and I tried so many different things to get him well. We tried CBT, family focus therapy, sand tray therapy, medications. We did try some hydrotherapy, which was probably the most effective, but that was for only physical treatment. The rest of it was in his mind, and it was so clouded, so difficult to reach into him and find out what was the pain and how to help him. In fact, really, he blocked us. He didn't want us to help. And then in the end, it was safer not to be there. So sadly, we're not together anymore. But as I said, he was my joy stealer. And now I've discovered the Richard's trauma process. I discovered it too late for my husband, but in time for my rest of my family. What is the trauma process? It is an amazing modality. It is incredible the way that it's rich and dynamic and so beautifully sequenced and orchestrated. It flows in a wonderful way of just helping each individual to unlock their unconscious core beliefs, to find their true self, and to know who they are, and that they're safe now. What's happened in the past is over. It's behind one. And right now, you're safe. It is a fabulous, wonderful process. And then I want to just introduce to you the 5 processes that I'm going to go on with this demonstration. I'm going to talk about the creator of TRTP. I'll introduce you to her in a minute. The beginnings of TRTP, the way it's processed, and the 3 processes, and how it's impacting the mental health world today, and then ongoing research. How powerful is that? Judith Richards gives a wonderful example of a very complex picture, not a very simple picture of a black dot in the middle of a white screen. And the black dot represents your conscious mind. You're thinking and looking at this particular presentation right now, but your body is unconsciously telling you that you're safe, that you're to breathe, that your heart's to beat, and that you can move your hand or nod your head. All this is a process that's going on behind your conscious thought. And at the same time, it's keeping you safe. Let me introduce you to Judith Richards. Judith Richards is a wonderful Australian lady who's come through her own traumatic past. Her journey has been quite difficult, shall we say. She tried many different ways of recovery. And in the end, having been so badly treated by her partner, beaten up, traumatized, tortured, they said to her, "We can fix your body, but we can't fix your mind." She withdrew, it went away, and then she thought, no, this is not going to be happening to me. I will not accept what they've said. And she put together and developed the Richards trauma process. She began to teach it. And I was fortunate enough to go last year to Australia to learn the process, to do a 3-day intensive on how to do it, and then to apply it as I applied and learnt through my clients how to do the process and how wonderful it is. So that's precisely what I did. I learnt about the unconscious core beliefs. I learnt that the body knows if you put your hands together like this and you put your finger like this, or I come and do this for you if I could just be there with you. And you say, "My name is Fran," and you pull your finger through. Obviously you say your name, not mine. But you can't. But if you say, "I'm a pumpkin," you can break free because your body knows who you are. And you're not a pumpkin or a pineapple, come to that. But your body knows. One of the people I met doing this training was Steve Gardiner. Now, Steve has been a South African soldier. He's gone through his own personal stuff and he's developed post-traumatic stress disorder. And he came across Judith Richards as she was teaching her method. And she did the process on him. And after the first session, he thought, right, I'm going to test this out. And he nipped around the corner to go and see Saving Private Ryan, which is quite a dramatic war film. He wanted to see if he was going to be triggered whilst watching it. He watched it all through and he was no triggers at all. He said, "I can't believe this." So he booked himself in again to watch it all over again. And for a second time, there was no triggering. He said, "Wow, this process works." He was so impressed. He has gone to every single training that Judith has presented. He has become a TRTP advocate. He uses TRTP in his practice every day. And he is just a wealth of information, mine of knowledge, and an exhorter and an advocate for TRTP. Wonderful person. And he's there for us as the TRTP family. In this next slide, you'll see What a body is learning how to defend and protect you. The deer has gone into freeze mode. It's frozen, it's just gone almost comatose, knowing that inevitably death is coming, and its body is just going into shutdown, getting ready. The mind knows how to defend yourself and protect you from pain and trauma. Or, as the next bit shows, you might go into fight or from freeze, or you might go to flight. I'll tell you a lovely story. When I was much younger, I was doing my A-level project, my art project, and I was painting a picture of the manor across the road. I got permission to sit in the field and paint. So I was busy having my canvas here, painting away, looking at the manor house and the trees around it, getting the sky right, so absorbed in my painting. Suddenly, I heard a rustling in the grass, and I looked up. Remember, I'm sitting on the ground. I looked up and I saw this herd of cows coming towards me, and the next thing I knew, I was on the other side of the electric fence. I didn't rationalize, thinking this is a dangerous situation. My body already went automatically into flight mode. Get out of here, quick! So I found myself having must have flown over the electric fence. And there I was, standing there watching the cows huff and snuffle at my painting. And I was safely on the other side of the electric fence. Our body knows how to protect us and keep us in the safe mode. The process itself takes 3 to 4 sessions. And it starts with the first process, the first session, unlocking the unconscious core beliefs. It's a beautiful session. I really love this. You have a little pre-talk chat about what's happened to you without re-traumatizing you and making sure that you're safe. And then this wonderful guided imagery of a wonderful journey. It's beautiful. You'll love it. And it is safe. The second session is where the rubber hits the road. It's dealing with the unconscious core beliefs. It's dealing with stuff that you've got locked in your mind, the video loops that are going round and round, replaying the traumatizing events. And turning those videos off and saying, you're safe now. What's in the past is in the past. It's over and you're safe now. Brilliant. And you return to calm. And the third session is just beautiful. Looking to the future, taking you from where you are now to where you can be in, say, 6 months' time. And learning to look at life in a better viewpoint. It's great, and it will be fantastic. Because we're using the theatre of the mind, the dramatization of your imagination, and it is very powerful, and it is a beautiful, safe method. Wonderful. And then we're moving on to what is happening with the mental health situation at the moment. The Richard's trauma process has transformed the way people can be looked after and have a mental health healing. It has made such a difference because the National Health Service is spending millions of pounds on helping people to get better. In fact, 2018 to 2019, the National Health Service spent £12.2 billion on mental health. And at the same period, the United States spent over $200 million for mental health safety. It's a huge amount of money. If we can save the process and actually help people get better, quicker, safely, then let's do it. Let's save the health system money and save people wasting time having endless treatments of counselling which don't seem to go very far very quickly. We're looking also at developing ongoing research There's one lady who's an expert in MRI scans, and she has been examining her patients pre and post TRTP and seeing amazing results. People's brains are getting back to normal, getting fired up and getting excited with the right things. And it's just beautiful. How great is it to be able to see people set free from their past and getting into a fabulous future? Over the last 8 years, there's been a rapid increase in the number of people who have been treated successfully through TRTP, and that number is continuing to increase and grow, especially as Judith continues the teaching process and is helping more people become TRTP practitioners. So now there are over 90 TRTP practitioners. And in the world, there's TRTP Europe, where myself from England, another lady from Switzerland, another lady from Hungary are coming together and discussing TRTP and helping each of us to improve and develop and grow as practitioners, to get better results and to encourage and help each other. TRTP Australia meets every week for ongoing presentation, professional development, and continuing encouragement. It's a very supportive community. It's great. Doing this, I have learnt to let go of my past and get my joy back. I choose life, rich, fabulous life. And it is such fun watching people get their lives back too. So if this TRTP presentation has taught you something, I hope it will make you realize that if anything has let you down, then hopefully TRTP is going to help you get better. Come and find us and ask us to help you and show you how. And lastly, I want to show you a little book. This is Charlie Mackessy's book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. It is a beautiful book. It's a lovely modality of gentleness, of loving kindness. And in it is this wonderful page where the horse says, "What have you learnt?" And the mole says, "What have you learnt?" And the boy says, "That I'm enough as I am," said the boy. And that's exactly what it is. I know who I am, and who I am is enough. Thank you for listening. I hope you've learnt something. Look forward to seeing you and maybe meeting you one day. Take care. God bless. Bye for now.